This channel is for educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions.
Hi, this is Joe Rabil. So I'm going to go through the market conditions. If you've been having some trouble with your trading, I think there's one indicator that we can use right now to keep an eye on with respect to the S&P in a specific time frame that'll help us with that. We need a resolution in that indicator. I'm going to go over it today. Now, I've been providing technical stock research and consulting to institutional money managers for 35 years. I want to provide you with some of those techniques right now. Now, I do want to mention, if you want to learn more about these techniques, I would go to rabilstockresearch.com/book. In the comment area below, I have actually put the link in to make it very easily, so you can go click the link and it'll pop that page right up. All right. I want to let you know also that I do not use a Gmail account. If you see any of my videos that have posted up a Gmail account, it is not me. I do not know what kind of scam this other channel is running. I'm trying to get it removed, but I wanted to let you know. Okay, I will get to the ADX, which is the indicator that I was talking about in the intro. We'll do that in a second when I switch over to my 4-chart layout. But to start, I want to do something, before I even get into the conditions, I want to mention something here that I think is pretty important. We've had this move off this low. We've made a higher low and a higher high, another higher low, another higher high. Now we're getting up into this prior resistance area. And if you notice what's taking place, the RSI is starting to diverge a little bit on an RSI 5 basis. Now that's a very short-term indicator. I wouldn't necessarily expect much because of the position it's in. It's something that I'm kind of watching. Now, the other thing that I think is incredibly important is, if you notice, this is the average true range of the S&P on the daily chart. That's the size of the bars. You can see how it has dropped down. Now, typically, I would say this is a very bullish thing what's taking place, right? We've got a declining average true range below its moving average. That's typically, and I do classify that as a positive. You can see right here in the volatility. However, one of the things I'm looking at is you go back and look at this indicator, it's very rare that it'll go this long without some kind of a pop in volatility. You see this? I mean, we really haven't had any kind of a hesitation, rally, upward move in the volatility since it peaked up there. So I think we got to be ready. Now, we did have something like this, but if you notice back here, we had a pop at least in the short term. I would say that we're getting pretty close to that, about the same length. Now, that was at the COVID low, and this is sort of taking on similar characteristics. So I wanted to point this out. I know I'm classifying this as positive, but I want to make sure you recognize that this has gone a very long time without some kind of increase in volatility. Based on the fact that it's rallying up into this resistance, I just think it was really important to start this video on this note. Okay, let's look at the conditions real quick, and then I'm going to drop this down so we can go through the individual, the actual charts themselves. But the sentiment did jump a little bit. We got to move from 11% more bulls than bears up to 14%. It's in the neutral camp. We're going to need to see more bulls. That's the one thing that's kind of the fly in the ointment for this to make any kind of an important top. I don't think that's what's in store right now. I think we could be ready for a pullback, but I'm not necessarily, at least based on the sentiment, I wouldn't be looking for some kind of a big drop at this point. I think we're going to need, so at the low where we got down here, we had a significant number of bears, a lot more bears than we've had in a while. We need to do the same thing here. We need to at least get back up into a higher range, and we're not anywhere near that at this point. Now, we did move to negative on the overbought oversold. We got this RSI on the weekly. I'm going to show you that in a second, up into the overbought camp, at least, just barely. But it does constitute a negative for the market conditions. The volatility stayed the same. Daily, as I mentioned, is down, but we need to be ready for a pop, I think, at least some kind of an increase. Weekly is starting to drop. Again, I'll show you that in just a second. Nothing changed with the trend and momentum. We still have positive trends for both the monthly and the daily. The weekly is neutral because the 18 is below the 40. And then on a momentum basis, no change there as well. The daily momentum is the key, I think, right now. Something we need to watch very closely. I'll get into that once we switch over. All right, look at the drop that's taking place in the average true range on the weekly chart. So, that is, I think, a good sign. Now, what we saw on the daily chart with the pullback, when that pullback took place, we had a declining volatility situation. I'd like to see, maybe this has to climb a little bit more and then pull back, and this keeps dropping along the way. And then we get a little pop or something like that in the short-term volatility that causes the pullback. But the pullback is a part of this rolling over. I'm just trying to design what would make this look really bullish. We're not there yet, and it's very possible that we could turn into like this, with this crossing back down and being more neutral and not quite positive yet. But ideally, we'd want to see this pullback or pause for a little bit while this rolls over. That would be ideal. Now, the other thing I really want to see is this RSI 5 come down, RSI 5 come down, and the RSI 20 hold. We got that on the daily time frame. We have yet to see that on the I don't have that up on this chart right now, but the 20 RSI is above 50. If it can hold 50 on the next pullback while the RSI 5 comes down below, then I think we're in a much better position. All right, let's go ahead and switch over. So here's the way I want to put this to you. So we have this indicator ADX with the DI lines, all right? The green shows the strength of the buyers. The red line shows the strength of the sellers. I want to first show you what took place last year as we were moving up before this big drop, all right? Before this got hit like this. Do you see how green DI popped up and then it couldn't make any more? We didn't see another new high above that peak. You see that? Let me actually use the horizontal line so I can really make it go across. Do you see how we didn't make any new peaks there? Even though price was making higher highs and higher lows, the DI line was showing that the buyers were not that strong. So we wanted to be on the lookout for some kind of a reversal. And in this case, again, we didn't even get the ADX above 25. And then we got the resolution to the downside, all right? And then obviously we got a pretty decent drop. Momentum has kind of shifted, but now we're getting somewhat like a V bottom like we saw in 2020. Now, what I want to point out is if you think about what took place with the DI back there, look at what's taking place right now in the DI. You see how DI, even though we made a new high here, we've pushed higher again. We're not making any progress on the buyer side. We're also not showing sellers either. I mean, the sellers aren't showing strength either. But what is typical is you first lose the buyers. The buyers are basically saying they're not as interested in buying up here. All right, that's at least what it seems like. Or they're waiting for more information, new news, something from the Fed, something like that. Now, what I'll say is there's two ways for this to play out. We could either do like what we did on the weekly chart I just showed you, and we break the 18-day, all right? And then I think if that happens, then we're probably working our way down to the 18-week, potentially the 18-month, depending on how violent it is, all right? The other way it could play out is if we get good news and this tries to push higher and break out, all right? I would actually view that somewhat differently than you might expect. We're probably going to get the green DI to break out, and we'd probably get the ADX to cross above 25. If that ends up being the case, I would actually be viewing this more like a climax situation because we just don't have enough strength in the trend, and now we get a pop after a big move like this. I would be more inclined to believe we'd be making some kind of a short-term climax. Now, again, this is happening on the daily chart, so it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to flip everything over and turn down, but it could mean the beginning of some kind of a pullback or consolidation that we haven't had in a while. We haven't had a test of the 18 weeks since it was crossed, right? And we have this 18-month line that was overrun somewhat. Now, it came all the way back by the end of the month, but because the MACD has crossed down, we should expect some kind of a consolidation. Now, typically when this plays out like this, where we get follow through and we test the high, the pullback is usually held, it doesn't have to come all the way down to here now. All it has to do is kind of come back and test these solid bar areas of these candles and the monthly line again. So that's kind of where I would be watching. Now, I think this will all play out in an interesting fashion, because if you notice what's taking place, we don't have any momentum strength at all on the hourly. So we've got an exhaustion signal taking place on the hourly chart, okay, and we have low, basically no real trend strength or divergent trend strength on the daily chart. So we've got back-to-back time frames showing the same issue. We still need price to confirm. I mean, I wouldn't go and buy a whole bunch of puts or short the market or anything until I got more evidence of what we're looking for. And that's going to start with the trend line break on the smallest time frame. We're going to need to see a trend line break. Potentially, it's going to need to be somewhat violent and maybe even puncture the 18-day. But I think the process needs to be a 1, 2, 3. Now, if it's really violent to the downside and it crosses down through on a daily basis, we might not see that. But what I'm expecting to see is some type of a 1, 2, 3 top, based on the way this has died out here. Now, again, I mean, I'm open. You've got to stay open to both ends. It could go either way, and we could get a pop here. We could get a pop to the upside. And if that's the case, we'd be thinking more climax. In my opinion, I'd be looking more for a climax pattern as we go to a new high, getting very, very extended on a weekly basis, just going up way too many weeks in a row. All right. So that's the thought process. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.